Hi, my name is Lori Porter. I was asked to cook a recipe, like a family recipe, something that I was really involved in, something that meant something to me. And being Italian, I thought, well, what comes to me is lasagna, baked ziti, chicken parm, eggplant parm, things like that. But I think anybody out there has an eggplant parm or a lasagna recipe, and those are really easy go-tos that I think a lot of people have. So what I want to make for you today is my grandmother's recipe for stuffed artichokes, and it's a real favorite of mine. I've loved it since I was really little, and I think if you guys give it a whirl, you'll really like it too. I also think that artichokes in general are really kind of overlooked. So if this is one way for you to bring artichokes into your life, I say go for it and experiment and have a great time with it. So let's get started with my recipe for stuffed artichokes. It's really simple, and all you're gonna need are artichokes. And artichokes are a member of the thistle family, so they're very prickly. They have these very sharp barbs on them, so just be careful handling them. What you wanna look for, and this isn't a real good example for it, but if you like Googled Martha Stewart, she's gonna tell you to look for artichokes that are blemish-free, really tight heads, very heavy, but really no artichoke is a bad artichoke in my book. So go out there, buy something that's not gonna cost you a bundle, and pick those up. You're also gonna need garlic, lemon, and parsley. You're gonna need some Italian breadcrumbs, olive oil, salt, pepper, but then you're good to go. And then you want to clean the stem off. And the stem is really good too. If anybody's ever had artichoke hearts, the stem tastes exactly like the heart. So why people throw away the stem is beyond me, because the heart is the best part of the whole artichoke and the stem is exactly like the heart. So you just want to go through here, be very careful, take a sharp knife and go around the whole stem and peel it off. Then what you want to do is, these bottom leaves are kind of like, they're not useless leaves, but we're going to just trim this up so that it all looks a little prettier. Then you want to cut off the bottom of the artichoke, and then you want to stick, anytime you cut an artichoke, you want to stick it into acidulated water. And all that means is we've thrown some lemons into some water, and it prevents it from browning. So this I cut off, it stayed white. This one came to the surface, so that's not a good example, but it stays nice and white, and you want to just pop it in there. So then you come back to your artichoke here, and you want to take a serrated knife, usually works better, and you chop off the top of the artichoke. There you go. And then you want to just trim up these leaves that are sharp and prickly with kitchen scissors, and just go around your artichoke and make that look good. So once all your leaves are snipped, all your thorny pieces are clipped off, you just want to start separating out the leaves. It's really helpful when you open up all these leaves in here. This is the choke of the artichoke. We're not going to do anything with that right now, but we'll come back to that later. And then you stick your cut up artichoke into the acidulated water, I should say. And you can use a steamer basket if you have a steamer basket. If you don't have a steamer basket, you just put enough water in your pot to boil, to give it lots of water. So you put your steamer basket into the water, and then you put your artichokes in upside down on the basket. So take your and then put a lid on your artichokes. You're going to steam your artichokes for about 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Keep an eye on the water as it's boiling, because as the water boils, it's going to evaporate, and if all the water disappears, you're going to have burnt artichokes. So just keep an eye on the water. Feel free to, you could always add in these lemons, salt the water well when you put the water in, and let it rip for about 30-35 minutes. I have some artichokes that I've already let go for a while. And what you want to do is make sure that when you insert a knife into your upside down artichokes, it just easily goes in. As you can see, there's like no resistance whatsoever there. So when you take your artichokes out after steaming for 30 to 35 minutes, you want to let them drain upside down so that all the liquid comes out. And I'm just going to gather up these extra leaves that had fallen off and that stem. And then we're gonna go back and make our filling. And what you want to do when chopping up parsley is you want to gather it all into a tight ball. You want to try and get this as tight as you can, and then just go through and chop this parsley up. So you want to run your knife through it one time and just keep attacking the parsley. And you want to try and get as fine a chop as you can as well. So then you want to chop up some garlic, and when you shop for garlic, you want to look for a very smooth wrapping or skin on the garlic. The bulbs need to be tight, they need to be really hard and fairly smooth. That's a really good bulb of garlic. So that's what you need, and I have one that I've already cracked open here. And for these, depending on how much you love garlic, and we love garlic a lot, I do about 3 cloves. These are fairly large cloves of garlic, so of course to your taste, but how can you go wrong with garlic in my book? So basically you take the cloves of garlic. What I do is smash them with the side of the knife. Be careful, you don't want to cut yourself. And then you peel off. It makes it really easy to peel off that outer skin once you smash it. It breaks off that outer skin for you. Now, I did learn this one little trick. I'm not really sure the science behind it or why it works, or even why some people do it. It's not for flavoring, but if you mound up your garlic and add a little tiny bit of salt to your pile as you're chopping, it for some reason breaks down the garlic a little bit more. And the salt made the garlic release some of its juices, and it was able to break down and really made our job just a little bit easier. So then what you want to do is just add a little bit of salt to your liking, to your taste, a little bit of pepper. You're going to want to add your Italian breadcrumbs. And if you make your own breadcrumbs, or if you like panko breadcrumbs, those will all work. Anything you like. The breadcrumbs kind of just give it a little bit to bind to once you stuff the artichoke, and or if you don't like breadcrumbs or you're allergic to wheat or anything, you can just stuff your artichokes with the parsley and the garlic plain. You add a little bit of olive oil, and because you're trying to make like a little paste or mixture. I'm just gonna grab a spoon, and then you stir up your mixture. You take this spoon, and what you do is, let me see, you scrape out the choke. And see how that's kind of coming up there? See those little tiny fibers all the way down in the bottom? It's releasing from the heart of the artichoke. You want the heart, you want to get rid of the choke. So you scoop all of that out. And see, these are the things that these fine fibers, you want all of that out of there. So once you pull all of that out of there, and there you go. That's the choke. That's your clean artichoke. That's a beautiful little heart in there. And then all you do now is we're gonna stuff these things. And the important part is you're not only stuffing the middle, we're gonna scoop in each layer. So almost every single bite is gonna be filled with a little bit of garlic, a little bit of breadcrumbs. So you pour a little bit in there, and then you just take your spoon and you go around and you kind of separate out the leaves. Oh, not really a good example here. Here we go. I'm gonna just spread these leaves out a little bit more so you can see. This is why we push those leaves open a little bit before we put them into the pot, so then they're gonna release a little bit better. So it's like a flower petals opening up. So you open up all those flower petals and you just take your spoon and you work around the leaves, filling them all as you go, round and round. And you can, you know, get it right down in there, because then we are going to bake these. So then the garlic's gonna get soft, the garlic's gonna permeate through all of the leaves, the breadcrumbs are gonna get flavored. Each bite, once you pull the leaves off, you'll have a little bit of garlic, a little bit of parsley, some breadcrumbs, and be hopefully delicious to you. So what we have here is our finished artichokes. Stuffed, baked, they smell good. Delicious family recipe. And so then once you take that out, and again, I cannot stress, don't forget your little stem. This is the part that's all really, really good, but you want to drag the leaf. Really, really good. Garlicky, but not too garlicky. Breadcrumbs, delicious, soft. I hope you love and try my recipe for stuffed artichokes. I think you're really, really gonna love them.